That's where I need to go.
You can't go, Buzz. You'll never make it there.
Woody once risked his life to save me. I couldn't call myself his friend if I weren't willing to do the same. So who's with me?
This is for Woody when you find him.
All right, but I don't think it'll mean the same coming from me.
Toy Story 2 is a 1999 sequel to the 1995 animated hit that would, like its predecessor, find high acclaim and box office success. Taking place about a year or so after the events of the first film, Living Toys, cowboy doll Sheriff Woody, voiced by Tom Hanks, and Space Ranger action figure Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen, have become good friends. They are both the co-leaders of Andy's Toys, including Rex the Dinosaur, voiced by Wallace Shawn, Ham the Piggy Bank, voiced by John Ratzenberger, and Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, voiced by Don Rickles and Estelle Harris.
You haven't found your hat yet, have you?
No! And Andy's leaving for cowboy camp any minute, and I can't find it anywhere!
Don't worry, Woody. In just a few hours, you'll be sitting around a campfire with Andy making delicious hot schmoes.
They're called s'mores, Buzz.
The lawn gnome next door says it's not in the yard, but he'll keep looking.
I found it.
You found my hat?
Your hat? No. The missus lost her earring. Oh, my little sweet potato.
Oh, you found it! Oh, it's so nice to have a big, strong spot around the house.
Woody still finds love with Bo Peep, voiced by Annie Potts, and loyalty from his faithful Slinky dog, voiced by Jim Varney.
I'm sorry, Bo. It's just that I've been looking forward to this all year. It's my one time with just me and Andy.
You're cute when you care.
Fellas, okay.
What?
I found your hat, Woody.
My hat! Oh, Slink, thank you.
Andy, voiced by John Morris, is preparing to leave for cowboy camp and intends on bringing Woody. However, Woody suffers a tear on his arm. Andy's mother, voiced by Laurie Metcalf, places Woody on a high shelf, and Andy leaves for camp without him. On the shelf, Woody finds Wheezy, a penguin toy with a broken squeaker, voiced by Joe Ranft.
What are you doing up here? I thought Mom took you to get your squeaker fixed months ago. Andy was so upset.
Nah, she just told him that to calm him down. What's the point in prolonging the inevitable? We're all just one stitch away from here to there.
Andy's mom grabs some odd things from Andy's room, as well as Wheezy, and has a yard sale. Woody decides to use Buster the dog to escape outside and save Wheezy from the yard sale. However, Woody is soon found by a greedy toy collector named Al McWiggin, voiced by Wayne Knight.
There's a snake in my boot.
Original hand-painted face, natural dyed blanket stitched vest. A little rip, fixable. Oh, if only you had your hand-stitched polyvinyl hat. I found them.
Buster! Quiet down. Excuse me, can I help you?
Yes, you can help take his paws off my pal.
I'll give you 50 cents for all this junk.
Oh, now, how did this get down?
Just hand her the sheriff. Nice and easy.
Very well. $5.
I'm sorry, it's an old family toy.
No!
Despite Andy's mother refusing a sale, Al steals Woody and drives away. Buzz tries to catch up, but only gets the license plate. Using Mr. Spell, Buzz deduces that the thief is none other than the owner of Al's Toy Barn store. Buzz, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky Dog, Rex, and Ham all set out to try and rescue Woody. At Al's apartment across the street from the toy store, Woody meets a cowgirl doll named Jessie, voiced by Joan Cusack, Bullseye the horse, and Stinky Pete the prospector, voiced by Kelsey Grammer. They inform Woody that he was designed after the protagonist of Woody's Roundup, a popular 1950s children's television series.
Cowboy Crunchies, the only cereal that's sugar frosted and dipped in chocolate, proudly presents
Woody's Roundup. Of course it's time for Sheriff Woody. He's the very best. He's the rootinest, tootinest cowboy in the Wild Wild West. Woody
Woody is a collector's item, and Al plans to sell him, along with Bullseye, Jesse, and Prospector, to a museum in Tokyo, Japan. Al brings in a cleaner, voiced by Jonathan Harris, to clean and repair Woody. Woody tells the others about Andy and how he has to return back home, but Jesse informs Woody that Andy will eventually grow tired of him. Jesse laments about how she was abandoned by her owner, Emily, years before.
Woody, don't be mad at Jessie. She's been through more than you know. Why not make amends before you leave, huh? It's the least you can do.
You never forget kids like Emily or Andy. But they forget you.
The other toys make it to Al's toy barn, with Buzz running into an entire aisle of Buzz Lightyear figures. Rex, Slinky, Mr. Potato Head, and Ham find themselves in a Barbie aisle.
What a great party! Hello, Ken Go! Hello, Ken Go!
Excuse me, ladies. Does anyone know where we might find the Al of Al's Toy Barn?
I can help. I'm tour guide Barbie.
Woody is shocked to see them arrive at Al's apartment, but he says he thinks it is best to head to the museum in Tokyo.
I can't abandon these guys. They need me to get into this museum. Without me, they'll go back into storage.
Woody, you're not a collector's item. You're a child's plaything. You are a toy!
For how much longer? One more rip and Eddie's done with me. And what do I do then, Buzz, huh? You tell me.
Originally, this film was planned to be a direct-to-video sequel, as most animated sequels had been up to that point. As Pixar began developing the story, they felt that it should be shown on the big screen. When working on the film, someone entered a code called RM Star, which, when entered, deleted everything on the computer as quickly as possible. Due to this, the creators of the movie lost 90% of the film. The animators tried to get the backup animation, but it wasn't working. Fortunately, supervising technical director Galen Sussman had recently had a child, so she took a copy of the movie home with her so she could work from home. They covered the extra copy in blankets and drove it back to the studio, and they were able to recover most of the film. Sussman would be laid off from Pixar in 2023. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen were each paid $5 million for their work, about 100 times their salaries for the first film. Jessie was originally going to be a cactus called Senorita Cactus, but it was decided later on that she would be a cowgirl. Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Helen Hunt, and Kirsten Dunst were considered for the voice of Jessie. The role went to Joan Cusack. The introduction of Jessie largely came out at the insistence of John Lasseter's wife Nancy, who wanted the movie to feature a positive female character with a bit more substance than Bo Peep. According to animator Mark A. Walsh, Jessie was largely modeled after Doris Day's character in the 1953 film Calamity Jane. Mary Kay Bergman, who provided Jessie's yodeling, sadly took her own life 2 days before the film premiered. This was the last Toy Story film that featured Jim Varney as the voice of Slinky Dog, as Varney himself died on February 10, 2000, 3 months after the movie's release. Varney's good friend Blake Clark would voice Slinky in the next Toy Story films. Betty White, Doris Roberts, Marcia Wallace, Carol Burnett, Cloris Leachman, and Florence Henderson were all considered for Mrs. Potato Head before Estelle Harris was cast. Tour guide Barbie is voiced by Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel in the 1989 Disney hit The Little Mermaid. Bullseye was originally going to have a speaking role voiced by Martin Short, but John Lasseter decided to make him a non-speaking character since he thought it would be more appealing to audiences. Wheezy's singing voice during the karaoke at the end of the movie was performed by Robert Goulet. The character of the prospector, Stinky Pete, is based on Walter Houston's character Howard from the 1948 movie The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Disney and Pixar originally wanted Joe Pesci to voice Stinky Pete. However, Joe Pesci had pretty much retired from acting at the time. Christopher Lloyd and Daniel Stern were considered. Kelsey Grammer was eventually cast in the role. George Wendt was the first choice to voice Al McWiggin, but the studio felt that with Kelsey Grammer and John Ratzenberger and George Wendt, the movie would have too many stars from the NBC television series Cheers. The role would go to Wayne Knight. When the toys are crossing the street, Slinky Dog says, "I'm not a smart dog, but I know what roadkill is."
I may not be a smart dog, but I know what roadkill is.
This is a reference to a quote from Tom Hanks' 1994 hit film, Forrest Gump.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
When Buzz chases after Woody in Al's car, a feather from Al's chicken soup falls out and lands in front of Buzz. This also appears to be a veiled reference to the feather in Forrest Gump. The scene where the toys use photo flashes to blind is a reference to the 1954 Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Window. Mr. Potato Head throwing his hat to jam a door is a reference to the James Bond villain Odd Job, who uses his hat as a throwing weapon in the 1964 film Goldfinger. The scene where Woody and Jessie make their way to the nose wheel compartment and jump off an airplane just as it is taking off is very similar to a scene near the beginning of the 1985 action film Commando, where Arnold Schwarzenegger jumps from the nose wheel of an aircraft just as it is taking off. As the credits roll at the movie's end, they are accompanied by some outtakes from included scenes. In the first of these, his predicament with the tape roll is a reference to the Tom Hanks scene in the money pit when his character is stuck in the floor.
Okay. A little help here, please.
The copy of Life magazine dated January 12, 1957, sets the date for the height of Woody's popularity on television. Woody's Roundup is clearly based on Howdy Doody, which ran on NBC from 1947 through 1960. The enormous amount of Sheriff Woody merchandise is also a reference to the similarly themed Disney Davy Crockett phenomenon, also around 1955. For the scene where Woody looks at the merchandise from Woody's Roundup, mock-ups of the toys were shown to Tom Hanks in the recording booth, and Hanks' spontaneous reactions were used for Woody's dialogue.
What do you push the hat and out come bubbles. Clever.
Along with Jessie the cowgirl, Bullseye the horse, and Stinky Pete the prospector, Woody is part of a limited edition set of toys that are rare enough to be sold to a Japanese museum. The black and white aesthetic always suggested the 1950s, and this would be confirmed in 2019's Toy Story 4. As a result of this, Woody would have lived 30 to 40 years of his life before meeting Andy. Andy is only around 8 years old in Toy Story 2, and his mother identifies Woody as a family toy rather than her son's toy, which seems to signal that Woody has been in the family's possession longer than Andy has been alive. In the film, Woody remarks, "A record player? I haven't seen one of these in ages." This would likely indicate that Woody does have memories of his life before Andy. It is heavily implied that Woody may have been handed down by Andy's father, who is not seen or spoken of in the film series. There was some discussion with regard to the song When She Loved Me, written by Randy Newman and performed by Canadian singer Sarah McLachlan, and whether or not young children would be able to sit through the 3-minute ballad. Tom Hanks stated in an interview that both he and Tim Allen sat down together, and after watching the Jessie song sequence, both of them simultaneously broke out in tears. The song would be nominated for Best Original Song at the 72nd Academy Awards in the year 2000. One of the scenes during the credits features Stinky Pete flirtatiously telling two Barbies, "You know, I'm sure I could get you a part in Toy Story 3.
And so you two are absolutely identical? You know, I'm sure I could get you a part in Toy Story 3. I'm sorry, are we back? Oh, all right, girls. Lovely talking with you. Yes, anytime you'd like some tips on acting, I'd be glad to chat with you. All right, off you go then.
Which is a reference to Hollywood's long history of the alleged casting couch practices. In some forms, this scene was cut out in 2019 after outcry from the social justice Me Too movement. Released into theaters November 24, 1999, Toy Story 2 was a massive hit, grossing a worldwide total of $511.4 million on a budget of $90 million. In the United States, Toy Story 2 was the third highest grossing film of 1999. I saw this film in theaters with my mom and my younger sister, and I believe my sister's friend, in late 1999. I remember enjoying it greatly, and I remember renting the VHS when it was released in late 2000. While this movie might not be as iconic as the original, this is a very well done and highly impressive sequel. I highly recommend the 1999 animated film, Toy Story 2.